Okay, so I had some stuff I wanted to talk about. Um, it's so funny because now I just sleep and I just don't. I think I talked about this such a long while ago, but I think there's so much about it in our heads. Like when they tell you, like you have to have 8 hours of sleep and stuff. Like I've just been going to sleep and then waking up, and when I wake up, I just don't get up. And I don't know if Stella has just got me on some sort of weird thing, or if it is because the universe becomes so active at a certain time. And when your crown chakra is open, it's just, there's more communication or something. I don't know. Like I don't have all the answers as to why things are, but it is trippy. Like, because I'm always up at like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. I'll go and I'll be laying there and I'll be like this morning, it was 2:30. I got up to go pee and it was 2:30, which I'm going to say some stuff that it may be like TMI. Because one thing I have noticed is, as a nurse, you talk about things and say stuff that other people can't handle. I'll be like, oh my God, she's a vagina. Ah. Like, I don't know. It's just funny because, when you become a nurse and stuff, there's a certain way you have to talk. And then you go out and talk to regular people in public who aren't in the medical. And they always are just like, oh my God, quit talking about that. Don't say that and stuff. So, anyways, I could say stuff. That's the perspective. Your perspective changes. And then you just don't realize, like, what offends people anymore. So, anyways, but on the time thing, so when I was laying there, it was like 2:30. I got up to go pee, and I come out, and it's 2:30. I have to go over and give Stella some kisses, and then I went and laid back down. But I was laying there, and it's just like I kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna relax, relax, relax. And then I thought I heard Stella like moan or cry or something. And I thought, oh, maybe I need to get up and give her some medicine. And so I don't know, this keeps happening a day after day after day. And then it's just like, well, I'm just gonna get up. And then you'd think like, oh, I'm gonna be so tired all day. This is the kind of stuff I used to think, oh, I'm gonna be so exhausted. I'm gonna be so tired. Oh my God, I'm gonna just, and some of the days I would feel like that. But what I noticed is when I stopped telling myself I'm gonna be tired and I'm gonna need a nap later or whatever, I'll still be like, okay, I don't really have anything to do today. So if I wanted to go to sleep later, I could. So I, give myself permission to take care of it, however. But when I don't tell myself what it's going to be, I'm totally fine. I swear to God, there is some mornings I'll get up and it'll be like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll be sitting here, and the only thing is always my eyes. I'm still having problems with my eyes, but it's still improved so hugely from what had started after quarantine when they did that laser on my eyes. That has improved a lot, but it's still, I'm not back to perfect vision, and I have to put on the readers in order to crochet or read comments and stuff, and so that still messes with your eyes. Like everything they do is to mess with us and get our eyes dependent on lenses when we should have gone into the direction of, what is affecting my eyes? Why are my eyes failing me? I think you can go out in the middle of nowhere where tribes are eating fucking bugs and weeds, and they got perfect teeth and perfect eyes. And then you come into the city so you can get smartified, and then you fucking get poisoned so they can test shit on you because it's the best thing they can do for humanity for the future. When really they're just a bunch of fucking swaze stick fucking scientists that just want to Frankenstein us all like a bunch of psychopaths. And but it's this competition. Are we as great as the creator? When they know the creator was a scientist, it's like, oh, fucking bullshit. Ooh. Just so anyways, but I really do feel like there is something with the sleeping. When you tell yourself, you set it up already. Like when you get up and you start dropping shit, and it's like, oh my God, this day, I'm gonna have a bad day. This day is gonna suck. And then it will suck every day, every second you're dropping. So as soon as that happens, you got to go, okay, just slow down. Just what are you trying to tell me? What do I need to know right now take it slow, and put yourself onto a more mindful kind of situation instead of just letting that energy take over or something. But I've definitely noticed that I can stay up, like I could just be sitting here and just keep going, and like 10 o'clock at night, I'm still like, well, I should go to bed. I should go to bed, you know? So it's crazy. I can really literally have like in 24-hour period, like 4 or 5 hours of sleep and feel fine. And it's the same thing that I had found with the food. When you start cutting back and you start seeing like, oh, I don't need all this food. I don't need a feeding schedule. I don't need this food pyramid to tell me. My body tells me what it needs and what it wants. And, those, yeah, I just all of a sudden came to me because I went to the food bank yesterday, which now they have guards up at every section. Over at the day old bakery stuff. I love baked stuff. And I used to not even like bread and butter when I was a kid, but as I gotten older, I think once going to like restaurants and stuff, they bring out that warm bread and butter. I was like, oh my God, this is the best stuff ever. So that's where I started really liking. And then, you have toast and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I really like the bread and butter. But I've always liked baked stuff. When my kids were younger, that's what's so weird is I really was like Betty Crocker, mom always in there baking and stuff. I stayed home so much with my kids. And then it's weird. I don't know. People's kids' perceptions especially, they become tainted. And my one daughter, who's very controlling of how others look at life, she was very controlled. I mean, her dad, she was at like a really bad part of his life, kind of. He was really, like, he has got mental illness spiraled out of control for so long. And when I left him, she was 6 months old, and the family wanted to keep having the kids and stuff, and they kept letting him be around the kids, and he was super crazy. And he would tell the kids all the time, like, that your mom hates you. See, she doesn't want to be with you. You're here because she doesn't love you. She's out doing drugs. That's all she wants to do is go have sex with men and have drugs and all this stuff. So he would constantly, they would come home and tell me that he would sit them on the couch and just sit there and do that. And his parents were like invalids. They wanted to be around the kids. But so he'd sit in the living room and have him out there, and the parents would be in their beds. And there was a lot of weird shit. But I really think I really see brainwashing, how it affects people. It really messes with their perception of what they pick up on and what they see, what they're on guard about, And I don't know. That affected more than just her life, because her kind of hyper awareness to paranoia that, can't trust mom. She put that onto the younger kids too. Because there was a point in time when I had all my kids against me, kind of, especially once I finally broke free, which, they complain about me being in this abusive relationship for so long and not being able to leave. And then I went with another abuser. I'm not, I'm not trying to say I'm a victim to abuse. I played a part. I had to learn the part I played so that I could change it. And that affects everybody who, it affects the kids and stuff. That's why I'm not going to judge how they're affected and what they have to go through. But I do know on a soul level, this is what they signed up for, and this is what they came here to learn, and that I know that they will overcome it. And I know there is true forgiveness in everyone's heart and true love in everyone's heart, even though in the physical, if the avatar can't remember that role, I know it on my soul level. So I don't have to be caught up in that. But that is the gift behind really going into your spirituality and starting to understand life on that level. So anyways, with the thing I wanted to talk about with the nursing thing too was so I had done a couple of posts on the TikToks, and I was talking about like this electrified feeling in my hair. Like there is like, You know, like when you hit your elbow or something and you start getting all those tingles? Well, I have those all over, and I know it's the overly excited nerves. And then once you start, like a paranoid person, start really going in and looking into all this stuff, and you find out the reason they put us on these light bulbs was because they could emit more frequency on us. And all of the whole thing with the power, I swear to God, is why they tell everybody, put your plug-ins. Don't you want your house to smell good? You need chemicals and electricity going at you at all moments of the day. So, and everywhere you go, fucking plugins and smells and stuff like that. People have gotten to the point that they think everything in nature is disgusting smelling, and it has to have some sort of fake ass perfume. So anyways, and I was talking about those symptoms or whatever, and so I did a couple posts. Well, oh my, the ringing ears one, oh my gosh, that one. I was watching that movie Lockdown 2025, and they had this one scene when the guy was doing this treadmill thing, and all of a sudden he got the high pitched frequency in his ears, and I was like, oh. I thought it was gonna be something else, what they were showing it about, because I have that all the time. But then they made it like it was a heart attack. And I was like, well, that's misleading, because all these people who have ringing in their ears right now, because I know I'm not the only one, all these people could think, oh, I'm having a heart attack. I got to go to the hospital. That's what's wrong. And so I was like, that's why people need awareness, is to understand what's going on with the frequency, the weapon. I mean, everything gets deeper and deeper. I can't help how deep things have to be, that you can't just look at something from the surface and, but it all goes deeper, 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 to the point where you realize that this place is truly some sort of like lab where we are all in here just to learn and all this stuff. But anyways, I talk about that all the time. But this, the frequency, like, people need to be aware of what's going on. And so, and not be thinking like they're having a heart attack, because that pushes people in to go to the hospitals and stuff. And the hospitals are fucking gas chambers, man. You don't want to fucking go there. They showed that. Now they've got these recirculating these hospital dance videos. And I remember in 2020, because I worked in a hospital, I was a nurse, and I kept telling people, like, this stuff, and nobody would listen. Oh, things are different now. Oh, this is different. It's like, God damn. But anyways, now those are recirculating, and the absurdity of, the messaging behind what they were doing and saying. And now for people to step back and see clearly, which is one cool thing, is more people. I just saw this girl, and she was always one of those political awake, just showing stuff and just constantly giving the evidence, and those people have to be in there deep. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday, how I keep trying to remember like all the things I've already got halfway going, but all the people who dig into things, like, it's exhausting to just constantly be looking into this stuff. And then you're so outraged, you got to share it, and you need other people to know about it, but it becomes kind of obsessive. And that's why I said so many people kind of get stuck when they wake up. It's just like, oh my God, oh my God. But I was thinking that is part of how it has to be for the awakening, because if we didn't have people doing that were getting stuck, there's so much information that wouldn't get shared, because those people dive so much into so much stuff and just share and showing evidence and look at this. But, they get to where they're just going around and around and around. And so now I'm seeing some, well, especially this one, because she was, I think she's pretty popular on there. I don't know. When you just put your videos out there, you don't really know how often people are seeing them or whatever. And then plus it's all on the algorithm. So anyways, I think she's pretty popular, but now she has changed. She said that she is not going to be posting those awakening political videos and stuff anymore. That now she saw that was bringing her down. It was making her more depressed. It was just had her focused on something. And now she's focusing on other things. And she said everything is going better and she feels happier. So that's part of the awakening, see, is those people to release that. I said, people wake up and they think they're all awake, but they're just stuck on this repeat. Look at this, 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 and you got to stay in flow. Otherwise, you're just hanging on to a branch, as the river's flowing, and you still got to go all the rest of that ways. It's not going to save you holding on to the branch. You got to just let go and trust the current. And so, more and more people are going to continue to do that. I know so many people, they just get so stuck on, all these people aren't going to wake up, all these people this, all these people that. But that's ego. That is their ego that has to break down, because this is a great awakening and souls came for this. And all souls wanted to go through their own experience for this, for the lessons that they needed to complete their own soul journey, their own soul plan. So everybody's is very versatile and different of what they came into experience, but it's all fucking traumatic as shit, man. Like, not very much of it is like all spring and sunshine, is it? So anyways, with the so I did these posts and talking about, like, right now, every day while I've been crocheting and stuff, the amount of hair that keeps being in my thing, it's like, oh my God. But I can feel it. It feels like it's like so tense. And the all of the little electrical shocks all over my body. And I noticed that, especially at certain times of the day, I can't even hold my phone. It feels like it's electrocuting my hand, and that it's got to be that 5G shit. It's because it's whatever this emission of this radiation that they are putting out more, and it is so mental. So anyways, in these posts that I did, the one with the sound frequency, that, oh my gosh, the amount of people in that one, me too, me too, me too, me too, everybody is having this same thing. And so many people went to the doctor for it, and the doctor, and some of the people are even, it's the tendonitis, I've got the tendonitis, the doctor said it's tendonitis. And then so many people, I've gone to the doctor, I've done this, I've gone to the ear, nose, and throat, they don't know what's wrong, and blah blah blah. It's because most of them don't have the awareness. They have a script. They don't fucking know. They don't know what's wrong. They don't know they aren't conspiracy theorists. They aren't spending their time to go out and learn about the towers and frequency and the technology that is hidden from us and what is being used against us. They don't go out and look at that, so they don't know. They have very limited access to anything, and they're not even gonna go past the narrative, because administrators have to be on the narrative because it's an extension, it's part of the beast, so they have to stay in the script. So there is no thinking outside of the box. And then when they do, that's when they become like naturopath or whatever, and they get booted out of the medical community and they become laughing stocks and stuff like that. So but people keep going to them because people don't know. And they trust the doctors, like they think doctors know, but they don't fucking know. And so all of this stuff going on, when you start doing research and stuff and you start finding out about the radiation and what is being emitted and how the electrical current interferes with our energetic field, and so it's making us sick. And then on top of that, with the chemical assault that happens, it makes us weaker and sicker. It makes our bodies constantly fighting off something, and it puts it into disruption. Like I said, it's all these domino effects that go on. They put it in disruption, and not only do they put it in disruption, they put it into a place where they go and insert themselves into a place to cause the disruption, to cause your body to become dependent on the insertion. So they create this stuff, because that is what these swazi kind of doctors do. They are trying to change things and interfere and make things different inside of us without our permission. It'd be one thing if we went down there. No, funny enough that I keep getting these emails suddenly if I want to be a part of the test group. I was like, fuck off. I am a part of the test group and I didn't sign on for it, bitches. So yeah, it's fucking nonsense. But I'm sure they'll offer you $250 or something, and people who value, or feel desperate, I've got to have money because goddamn, I got to go to happy hour this weekend. So they'll go up there. I want to have a new outfit too. Yeah, I'll sign up for both those tests. It's like, I think, what was that movie, Fun with Dick and Jane, when they showed that, where she went to go be the testing and it just made her face, everything swelled up in her face. That's what people will do for $20 when they're fucking desperate. They've got that, I think, down there on the homeless. I think that's probably how the amount of people that have got their battery pack removed and are just slumped over is, it just keeps going and going. It's so fucking creepy. That is the zombie apocalypse. I don't know where people say, oh, they told us there'd be a zombie apocalypse, just because they're not eating people. They're fucking mindless. These people are mindless. And if there is something to these towers and turning it on and taking mind control, they were handing out these goddamn fucking things for a hamburger. And so these people, and then they have the trafficking people go down there and start handing out stuff to get people hooked. It's all their system. They do it all on purpose, and they've done it over and over and over. And so they go down there, and then they offer these people a burger, so they all get them. And now they're all sitting there like a bunch of slumped over, somebody turned them off. But then whatever's going to go on with these purple lights and those towers and shit, is that going to suddenly animate them? And whatever's inside of them is suddenly going to come to life? Who knows what the fuck is in the little blue pill that they're giving them? Like, goddamn. Like, there's no telling. But this is already the zombies. I mean, they're mindless. I don't even know that their souls are still there. How do we even know that they still have consciousness? That they didn't just, evaporate that out? Who knows what the hell they're doing? They know what they're doing. We're just in a wait and see kind of situation. But all these people who are so still trapped on, I got to go to the doctor, and the doctor, oh my God, I can't even tell you how many. So in the comments, then when I was talking about the hair thing and stuff like that, so, and so many people, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Why is this happening? I thought it was just me and stuff like that. And so then where people have started being like, that now they understand they're being radiation poisoned, and it's their worst fear and stuff like that. And the thing is see, like, they instill this fear, and then you got this iodine thing that they're pushing so hard, which if you go in and read it, I swear when I was reading it, I was like, because I was going to order it. And then I thought, well, I'm going to go in and read and see what it says. And then the stuff it was saying, I was like, oh man, this does not seem like it would be safe to take. Like, it seems like it would be safer just to take your chances. Like, especially because they can't nuke us. Like, that is against, the galactic law. Like, it's just not allowed. And so this other radiation, see, I don't think that the iodine pills would help it. I think it's kind of like that other stuff that they started giving, which you can't say the word, but I can kind of spell it a little bit, I think. And it's res, it starts with and then avir. So if you put it all together, there's that was part of the protocol when they went in. And so during 2020, when everybody's dying from it, and they would take the people in and they would give them the quick test and then say, oh, this is what they have, here's the protocol, let's follow it. And then they were giving them that. Well, that was what was killing them. So see, they know which things to do. And so to me, it's kind of like the same with the eye. It's like, well, we know this is going to be bad. Let's see how bad. So I don't know. I say everybody's got to read and do their own research on that pill. But there's so many people now who are realizing that they are being radiated or poisoned and stuff. So I think it really helps to keep talking about it to get people to realize. But to me, like right now, not even just with my hair and every little, like all of those like shocking pinpricks or something all over me, and then inside of me. But even this morning when I went to the bathroom, I swear to God, the toilet looked like it had filled up with blood. And then I was like, man. But I know, like, if you have a bleed, if you have a GI bleed, because this is going to be affecting people's GI. So if you have a GI bleed that's up high, it is going to come out, your stool becomes black and tarry, and that's a higher up bleed, which it doesn't automatically mean that you are going to die or something. A bleed can seal itself up. So you need to go in and start looking it up. And this is the thing that is so sucky, is how much misinformation. Don't just go into the first thing. Go in and look it up in different areas and try and figure out different remedies. Because I was even thinking, I bet you, because every single group has been infiltrated, and I bet you the herbalist and weeds and all that stuff, I bet you it's been infiltrated. I bet you there is definitely people out there telling people to take something that is toxic and telling them it's not, because that's how these people work. They infiltrate in. Like, I just saw somebody who was filming because the FBI showed up at their house and wanted to talk to him about some people, and the guy wouldn't let him in, and he kept saying, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want? And they wanted to talk to him about some people. Maybe he could tell him some information, so because it's in a group he's in or something. So see, the thing is too, is people don't get that are in these groups who are talking about overtaking the government. They're the other side infiltrates in, especially when you have how many people use emojis and just words or titles or labels as their name. They're not out there as a real person. And even if somebody puts their name and their face, they're stealing somebody else's identity. Unless you see the person actually talking like me, saying what I actually say, which you can even go further into that, because you've got these psychopaths who take the CGI, who can now change all of that and make you look like someone else, make you say something else. I mean, it goes deep. So you have to use your discernment. You have to not just rely on what other people say. It's coming up over and over and over and over for humanity, because it's a huge lesson that humanity has to learn. You don't trust somebody else with your information. You have to learn to trust yourself, because so many people rely on other people for their information. But it is part of, the evolution of people, is to grow away from that, because it is something that is used against you. And besides the fact that it is through someone else's perspective, when every single person has its own unique perspective. So, and the more that we come together in our perspectives, the more it elevates us and our perspective. So anyways, if you get one of those, you start having black tarry stool, and a lot of times it has a really bad smell because it's rotten blood, and so it'll be like the same smell all the time. It will be bad. Like, you'll be thinking like, oh my God, what did I eat? What is wrong with me? Why does it look so weird? And then so if you have that, then look it up and try and see what foods, what things you need to stay away from, and really work on trying to heal yourself, because they know the things they're doing to attack us. They know what's going to be bringing us in, and there'll be protocols, like, just like I knew there's going to be something wrong with hearts, there's going to be something wrong with this, there's something wrong with the reproductive. Like, they know this stuff because they have been documenting it, they've been keeping data, they've been doing experiments on us for a long time. And so but there's a lot of that stuff you can heal for yourself. If it just continues and it just starts being where you, like where I saw it, where it was bad, where people were in the hospital, is when they started losing control. Like, the blood was just coming out, like it was kind of like leakage. But that happens with medications. That's when they say at the end of the commercials, anal leakage. That is what they're making, just like maybe a little squirt of poop or something's going to come out. No, people are leaking bloody stool. So when it gets to that point, then I would say you probably would have to go into a medical thing and see what they could do to stop it. But each person needs to use their own discernment, because I'm not there measuring it and monitoring you. You have to learn to measure and monitor for yourself. When you feel you need to get someone to help, but it shouldn't be your first go-to. You should try and heal yourself first. Try and see what you can do for yourself first. Which, you know what I even thought about with this babysitting situation? She's going to be upset or mad, which last night she finally did say thanks because I had got her some food at the food bank. And so she did say thank you for that, because I thought, man, is she not even going to say anything about that? Like, how mad are you that I don't want to babysit? Like, Jesus Christ, I went over there while your kid was sick and babysat. Like, there starts to be a point of like, don't you think you're maybe asking a little too much at some point? Like, I'm saying no. So I don't know. It's everybody in their own awakening. I just know that we have to set our own boundaries for ourselves, and we have to do it with the proper intent. Not like, oh, fuck you, you fucked me over. I'm not doing anything for you. Like that kind of stuff, that is going to just create a lesson for you. But so you have to be aware of your intention as you approach any situation. Is where are you coming from? But you have to be strong in your boundaries, because in a boundaryless society, everybody is going to push on you. And everybody's so used to taking from people, to the point like you can't say happy holiday, the things that you can't say because you could hurt someone's feelings. Like our society has gotten just, I mean, it literally has shifted it upside down by the direction of how people were going. We are literally shifted to upside down where we should. And that's why it's going to feel like such a welcome relief when we actually go back into alignment. But see, we all have to come into alignment. Really is like the society is built on these pillars. We are the pillars. We are the ones who created this society that has to be broken. It's not just the cabal. The cabal laid the roadmap. We all followed along. So we are the pillars that have to break in order to destructure this reality so that it can be built back up. I see, when we build back up, we're going to be stronger because we're going to have healed. And another thing too is this thing with the tribulation, because because my mom's religious and stuff, and so she'll say these different things. Like the other day she told me, okay, well, it's almost time for the rapture, I think, because there's signs to watch, which I think they kind of, I mean, they edited the Bible and created it and stuff like that. So I think that they're making these signs or something. Or do they know the signs? Are they making the, like, it's so crazy. But so she is saying like, this is going on, so it's about to be the rapture, which I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of interesting as we're all kind of waiting, because now I'm being told last October, when we thought it was going to go down, that was the Delta, and this is the October, because somebody shared this video with me of the Australian Prime Minister talking, and what he was saying, this is your last chance. You turn yourself in, or you get it on the right side. And I said, well, that was last October. He goes, I think that was the Delta. This is the October it's going to happen. And I was like, I hope so, man. Wouldn't it be the craziest thing if it ended up being the 17th? That would be funny if they did that this whole time to build up, because that would just be next week. And that was one of the days she wanted me to babysit. When I saw the number, I was like, no, I need to be, no, I don't know. I mean, 17, weirdly enough, pops up for me all the time, everywhere. Like I have certain numbers, we all have certain numbers that are communication, and you kind of, after a while, you start getting into the rhythm of what it is, why they're showing you certain numbers, because you start noticing like it's a certain thing you'll think, or how you'll think, or a question or whatever, and the certain numbers that they use. So you start seeing the patterns and stuff, but definitely that number is one that comes up for me all the time. 23, those two numbers all the time. And so, anyways, and you know what I thought of? This would be kind of a fun little game or something for anybody who wanted to try this. So I was thinking, if anybody tried sending me messages, so using your telepathy, think of me, like focus on me, like picture me, or however, to where you feel focused to me, like you're sending me a message, and send me some sort of message. And it could be anything. It could be a color. It could be something you want me to talk about, whatever. You have to I always kind of repeat it. I kind of say it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, and kind of loud. Like I really feel like I'm getting the message across. And I have seen where I've sent someone a message and then they will do something or say something I said. But I thought, oh, this would be kind of fun if some people sent me something, and then when I talk, then see if it comes out and how it came out and what I said about it or whatever. So like if somebody keep sending me something about pink, 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 pink. And then, I come in and I start talking about something that's pink, or I say I'm hearing pink or something. So anyways, I just thought that would be kind of fun, like a telepathy kind of game to do. But anyway, so back to the medical thing. So if you do start getting some sort of a bleed like that, like it can become concerning. It can become bad. So you have to be on top of paying attention to your body and watching, like, if I do this, is it worse or is it better? If I do this, is it worse or is it better? Like really tune into your body. And if it comes out red blood, that would be like if you have a kidney, it can be a bad kidney situation if blood comes out when you pee. So that can be bad. But all of this stuff, like you got to think, they're attacking us with radiation. So, I mean, there's a reason why people's hair is falling out and shit. God, it's so tingly. And it's not just their hair. I mean, people are getting sick and dying. So so if you get red in your blood, like a lot of times you have to be on antibiotics, but see, this stuff is so much more serious. To me, everything is looked up about radiation poisoning, but to me, it's not like the nukes. I don't, this is where you kind of have to be like fucking Mensa or something. Like you got to be a brilliant science mind or something to understand all of these different, I mean, maybe there's somebody here who listens to me who understands like all of these chemical compounds and the breakdowns and how it works and how we are affected. So I don't think this radiation that they're poisoning us with is something that we would take this iodine for. I don't think so, especially when they're saying it and they actively want to murder us. So I don't trust it right away. That's a red flag. Okay, the person who wants me dead is telling me I should take this. I kind of think we've seen this before, haven't we? So, anyways, if it is, you go to the bathroom and it is blood in the toilet, that would be more lower down. Like the blood has to be like right. A lot of times people who have hemorrhoids or something, which I don't have any of that. And I don't even know if there was blood for sure. But if you have hemorrhoids or any kind of fissures or something like that, so it can be blood. And any of this stuff can irritate any of that. So don't panic if you see that. I swear, when I was younger, my dad had horrible hemorrhoids. Probably because he didn't take care of himself at all. All he did was live off of alcohol. I swear to God, I don't know if he ever ate food. And I mean, I think I saw him eat a few times, like even that kind of super drunk, he would always just be like, he was always swaying. His eyes were barely open. His face would become really red. He had really, really bright white hair. It was kind of yellowish. He had real blonde. He was total towhead forever, up until he was old. And his hair turned, from blonde to gray, or it didn't even turn gray. It was just like silverish yellow or something. His hair was always like that. But he would always be, and he was a big guy, and he would always just be standing there, and he would eat, like, everything he would do is just slow, and, I swear to God. But anyway, so I just remember him always having hemorrhoids, and he would have blood all soaked in his pants. He would get up in the morning saying he'd walk in his pajama pants would all be blood. That's how I found out. Even I was like, what? Something's wrong with Dad. He's all bloody. And his by the time he ever said, or my mom ever said, probably by the time I was a nurse, but the toilet would just fill up with blood. And so you can bleed a lot from those things, but any of those things are going to be super irritated right now. And so I think one of the things that causes hemorrhoids is constipation, which that is a huge one what people have because of the poor nutrition in our food and our diet. And it's taken, like I've seen all this stuff, like they've taken the fiber out of food purposely. And that is why, most of the world has IBS or some sort of chronic what is the word? It's just in chronic intestinal disorder. And so everybody's got GI disorders. I swear to God, GI doctors probably make so much just because they're going in and looking at everybody and looking for something. And then there's nothing wrong with you. It's the food we eat. It's what's being done. And but it's all on purpose so that they can experiment on us. So anyways, the food has no nutrition and no fiber, and so it's giving people these chronic conditions. And hemorrhoids is apparently a part of it. To me, when I was younger, I've always been somebody who ate really spicy. Like I was really into salsa from the time I don't know, when I first tasted it. I don't know, I must have been a teenager, but I was always like, I swear to God, there was a period of time I just lived off salsa. And I liked it really, really spicy. I put a lot of jalapenos. And I always, like, once you have spicy, you can't go back. Like, everything has to be spicy or you can't taste it. And I put jalapenos on all sorts of stuff. And one time somebody told me, well, I bet you never have hemorrhoids. I said, I don't. And I'd already had 2 kids at that point. And I said, I never. And they said, not even when you're pregnant? I said, no, never. And they said, oh, because spicy food is jalapenos. And I swear to God, whoever had told me this said that Mexicans never have hemorrhoids, and that Mexican men or something, I don't know, use it so that they don't or something. I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember that part. And I don't remember if it was a Mexican person. I had a Mexican boyfriend way back then, that maybe it was him who told me. I don't know. He did tell me another thing too that I thought was a handy little thing is, when you open a can of refried beans and you're sitting there trying to scoop them out, you just open the other end and push them. You just push it through and it comes out. I was like, oh my God, what a fancy little hack that is. And I've always done it ever since. Another thing too, the Mexican guy did with the beans is you add some water. And when you add some water, it gets that creamier kind of beans like what they have at the restaurant. So anyways, but the first thing to do is go in and try and take care of the stuff yourself. Look up different kind of remedies and stuff that you can do to improve your diet or whatever, because definitely we're being assaulted. I swear to God, I cannot wait for the power to go out. I think when the power goes out, just the silence all of a sudden that everyone is going to have, and it's crazy because the power has gone out before here, when it was bad weather. And I remember it being so silent, but right now, how it's turned up so loud with the towers and stuff, when that all goes down, I think it's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can hear 2 miles away. Like, there's so much interference. So I think that it's going to be dramatic when that happens. And I don't know what all of the things will be that will awaken people, but I think that definitely that is going to feel so much better, and it's going to feel like a relief to our bodies. Oh my God, I think it's going to be such a relief. Like, I don't know what is going on, like my whole lower area kind of, it just feels like warm and crampy, and just like my whole body just feels worn out, like it's just really tired of the whole thing, like it's exhausted. And another thing too that I think is weird is, so I have done these videos, and this is one of the things to see this happen to me is just, it's seeing things before other people. And that's why I said some of this stuff is surreal, because I've seen it for so long, and then I start saying stuff and people start thinking I was crazy, and now I'm seeing people say this stuff, and they're still complaining that people are calling them crazy. It's just such a slow thing to the awakening, man. But when I very first started, and I was like, I started realizing there was crimes against humanity to sell us land and stuff. Like, they don't own the earth. Like, we allow this, we allow their laws, we allow them to boss us around like this, like that part of the awakening. And so in this one, I have been saying about this, this raping and pillaging of the earth. Over here with these bulldozers just clearing it out to put in 400 houses or whatever the fuck, all crammed in together, made quickly so they're not made to last, and then painted pretty, which, it's all surface. But so, when I've talked about the noise, because the noise is extreme, noise pollution is a thing, and on top of the frequencies, and then to have this, it is like, I swear to God, even this morning when I got up at 3:30, I was up at 3:30, and I heard I called 911. Even I was sure it was 3 gunshots, because it was boom boom boom. That sounded like gunshots. I put everything on pause, and the 911 lady said, "Did you hear screaming? Did you hear a car pull off fast?" But, I don't think that the shooting was like right across the street from me or something, but I definitely think somebody shot somebody, or shot a gun or something, because ain't nobody's out hunting at 3:30 in the morning, and the hunters don't go boom, boom, boom. I hear the hunters all the time. And so anyways, the people over there that are just over there with the bulldozers, just bulldozing, digging up these rocks. And I know all of this noise and this frequency is making people on edge. And I think a lot of people aren't even tuned into their selves. They don't even realize that. I watched that chapter yesterday where these kids, 17-year-old kids, went into a brutal murder. And then they sit there and just say, I'm a psychopath. I'm a psychopath. And then these kids, oh, well, the devil tells me in my head and stuff like that. And it's like, look at what labels and shit do. Like, it opens it up. Like, if you feel this way, then you're a psychopath. So that means you're going to probably be a murderer. And then they go out and murder. It's so aggravating. But anyways, so this, they're over there doing all of this, and I had done these videos to show like the extreme noise, but people can't hear it over the video. I don't know what this camera shit is doing, why it doesn't pick up on sound proper, doesn't pick up on color proper. Like, I think it's all part of the whole thing. So anyways, I went over and did this video showing it. I cannot tell you how many people started attacking me. This woman called me a Karen. Oh, a Karen, you're going to complain about noise when people need homes? Okay, so these $450,000 homes are cramming in here, destroying the planet. That's all cool and dandy. Like, these people who need homes, can they afford these? Are the banks giving them loans? Like, most of these people can't even fucking pass a goddamn what they are doing now to make people rent, much less buy. This is bullshit. This is all bullshit. It's fucking nonsense. It's the fucking absurdity to wake people up. And this one guy is like, oh my God, all this bad stuff going on in the world, and you're complaining about noise. It's like, you're not hearing what I'm saying. The noise is the reminder of what they're doing to the planet. And at the same time, my trees right in my own fucking yard are dying because they're spraying it. It's a goddamn reminder of this. Even I'm sitting in my house trying to go into my happy place and just focus on the knots, listen to the frequency. Like, then, you really do get lost in it. You really do go into a meditation. It's really nice. It's so funny too, because when I was younger, I was a knitter. I learned to knit from grandparents and stuff. And, people who are knitters, they're a lot more snobby about knitting. Knitting is like the fancy thing or something. And I would see people crocheting, and I would always be like, oh my God, that's so cool. How do they do that? Just this one thing, just making these knots and stuff. And I would say something and be like, oh no, crocheting, that's so below us. But once now I've learned to crochet, I like crocheting more than I like knitting. And there's something that primal, I swear to God, I feel like, to me, that crocheting was like the tribe people, how they would make their clothes or baskets or whatever, was kind of like this crocheting and making these little knots and stuff. And I feel like that the more upper crust kind of aristocrats, they developed knitting because they had to be more proper and fine tune it or something. I don't know. I'd have to go in and look it up. But still, anything that they even tell us is made up. So what's the point? So anyways, when I'm saying stuff though, and it's like these people don't get it. And then plus they're judging me. So what? Maybe I've got post-traumatic stress syndrome and I fucking can't handle this constant fucking banging and explosions all day long. Maybe it's like too much for my fucking psyche. But they're judgmental. How dare you? How dare you? Noise is your complaint? It's like, yeah, motherfucker. Noise is my complaint. That's one of them. I got multiple. And so they're over there, is this destruction. Because if you think about, if we were really, like if our government really cared about the planet and really cared about all that stuff, they wouldn't be going in and doing that. And then seeing these truckloads go out with the trees and stuff, you motherfuckers. Oh my God, it's so fucking, oh God, I swear to God, these greedy motherfuckers. And so but it's his land. I fucking get how it goddamn works. I get how the developers and city planners and all these fucking circle jerk motherfuckers, I get how they work. And I get how that they move the money around in the cities and develop it how they want it to go, where they put corporations, where they put businesses, how they expand what they want it to be. I get it. Other people just play along and they don't look at it any deeper. But if we really lived in a society that cared, we would be spread out. It would be up to us to go in and build our own homes. It would be up to us to go in and develop our own area. They wouldn't come in and mass do this. It's like the same thing, a corporate farming, what they have done to our food so that they could mass produce shit. And keep it longer and make more money off of it. Because food spoils. So everything that they have done is so that they can make money. It's so crazy now when you buy fucking produce. Like I made a sandwich yesterday, tuna sandwich. I've been craving tuna. So yesterday when I went to the store, I got some tuna. I thought, well, that'd be good anyways. But the mayonnaise, see, it won't stay good if the power goes out. So you got to remember, everything in your fridge will be a loss. In your freezer, like if you got a bunch of shit stocked up in your freezer. So I wish somebody offered me a dehydrator. I wish I would have taken it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a slow thinker. I have to think it through. So, anyways, what was I going to say? So I made this tuna sandwich and I put lettuce on it. Fucking lettuce is not normal. Nothing is normal. Like there's something weird with all the food. But, and it's the corporate world that has destroyed everything. Like to go in with bulldozers and just plow out a huge area, destroy all of that land, and manipulate it, put in all this concrete, take down all the trees, and then put in a bunch of houses, cram them all in there together. Energetically, the people, that is not good for us to begin with. And they know that. They know that that interferes with our psyche. So if we were spread out and we all had to go in and be responsible, see, that's where I think it's headed, because we're going to go into a more harmonious time with the planet. I don't think people are going to cram in like this. I think most people at least want an acre apart. I think a lot of people would want 5 acres apart. And then people go in and build the house they want, not the house that the developer decided was a good floor plan. So people set their house up the way they want. Like, if people were going in and building in their own high quality places and setting them up the way they wanted, we wouldn't have this constant, moving to another one. I got to move into a bigger one. I got to do this. I got to do that. Move into bigger, move into smaller. I got to move for my job. We wouldn't have so much of this throwaway stuff. See, there's going to be so much that's going to stop with that just when the corporations go down, because their whole society has been built on this consumerism of something. We always need to get something else. We always need to get something else. That's how their whole thing is structured. So once that is gone, but it's going to be all of us, because we are the pillars of the society. So it's us that has to change. And that's why it's disappointing when I say stuff and it's just like so over people's heads. Like they even turn around and attack you and call you a Karen because you don't want to live with this noise and watch them destroying the planet when it makes no sense, and they're doing it all for their own profit and greed. And then plus your neighbors are so subservient to the system that they don't even complain. It's like, oh, don't even use the Vaseline on me. I'm good. I got to get to work. Hurry it up. I was like, God damn. Oh, I'm just, it's whatever level you are in the awakening. It is hard, And the thing is people think the people who aren't awake have it so easy right now. But that's when the tables turn. They're going to go into the really hard part, and we're going to go into the part that is like a relief. It's like after the orgasm. It's like, oh, thank you. We're going to be like, oh, so good. But they're going to go into how we're all feeling. And that is when, my mom was saying about the rapture is about to go down, but she goes, I'm really worried because that means it's the tribulation. And the tribulation's bad. It's really bad. It's so bad. You don't even know how bad the tribulation's going to be. And I am like, all of a sudden last night, I was like, oh, the tribulation is the healing. It will have that violence aspect of people, as they go through the process of anger, the process of loss. What was the word called? Grief. When they go through the process of grief, anger is a big part of it. And that is going to be like, when Allison Cohen and them were talking about in the QHHTs, that people are going to go into this, like, go crazy and start breaking things and destroying everything. There's so many. That's so much in prophecy. And so, hold on. So, anyways, when they start going into their anger, see, in the grief process, and after anger comes the next parts. Well, from my healing, definitely 7 years is, I thought it does take like that long to really get to a place where you feel really good and confident about yourself, and so and healing is hard. People think like, oh, it's not that hard. It's not, but people don't see it's like an existential crisis that you go into, and your ego, you have to question everything. You have to see your dark side. You have so many things you have to overcome, and that would be a tribulation for so many people, because it's going to be so hard to complete the task. Like so many people are going to get into it and then get to the part where they have to see themselves, and they're going to be like, hell no. I've gone around this world this whole time thinking it's everybody else, and now I got to say that I'm doing something wrong. And a lot of people are going to hit a wall when it comes to that. That will be a hard one to get over. And then the when you start realizing that you play the bad guy too, and you start seeing your role as being the bad guy for some people, that part is a hard one to get over. So there'll be parts where people will have a really hard time to get over, and that will be a tribulation. And overcoming that is the rebirth of our society. That is where we come out the other end, when the pillars are built back up to create the new foundation for the new world. It's us. It's us building us up to create this world. And that is the tribulation, is to try and conquer the battle of the ego to get to the point of self-love and loving, because when you love yourself, then you're capable of loving others. You can't love anybody truly until you love yourself. And, there's a whole thing about how much people, they just, this was coming to me so strong. But it's about the whole thing of just focusing on the surface and not going any deeper, and not even realizing, like, people go into relationships and then they're like, well, like they tick all the boxes or something, but they're not even on the same vibration. And then all of a sudden, when you have to start seeing the person for who they are, you realize you're not on the same vibration. You're totally different places in your life. And then people have to keep splitting up. Like, who were you when I met you? Well, take off the blinders. Start paying attention. Stop thinking somebody is who you think they are. Get to know who they are in a deeper way. Really try and understand them, not just like looking at what boxes you can check off of a person. Yeah, and it came to me the other day too, is like I was thinking, I think that there's probably, as there's so many cat ladies get made fun of, like these older women, or even there's so many young girls now who think they're cat ladies, that they have cats and they're happy with their cats and that's it. So it's kind of like a thing, but people always make fun of cat ladies. And I was thinking, I bet you these cat ladies have more love in their life than most of these people who are in these relationships where they're not appreciated. So whether they're a husband or a wife, when they're not appreciated by the other person, they're not truly loved. They're not really getting that love back, and they're not really giving it out. Most people just become kind of rejected and feel bad about themselves and become resentful of their partner. So when they don't have that kind of love, it's like, what is life about then? What are you doing here if it isn't about love? Why is it from the time we're small children, that's what we want, is love? Like, everything is here to teach you about love, about how to love yourself. And that is what we're really going into. And that's why it's such a strong lesson plan, because it is what we have to learn in order to start teaching the new. That's the seeding of the new place. So we have to learn it. So as the generations that come after us, that we teach them, because it is a completely different approach to life. And, everything has to change. You can see everything they were doing and where they were heading us. It was always going to crash into a wall. And then they were going to profit off of that. They profit off of putting off the fire. So anyways, it has to completely blow up to start over. It has to crumble, it has to be, washed away for a reset, to completely change. And people have to realize that everything they're losing was never theirs to begin with. And that there's no real loss. It is an experience so that you can process and understand and develop in a higher aspect of self. So anyways, hopefully I finished all of the stuff I was going to say. Like, just really any of the physical symptoms you're having, just be aware of all your symptoms and watch them. If they're getting better or worse. That's what we do in the hospital. We watch. Are you getting better or worse? Better or worse? Is this working or that working? Well, you don't want to add more chemicals, because whatever they're doing with the chemicals, it's to interfere with the other chemicals so that they can just fucking implode you. So do whatever you can with natural and stuff. You're taking a chance. Any chemicals. It's like a Jenga game. Anything can go at any time. But anyways, I do think that I really, really just I just want it to be over. I just want it to be over. I just want the power to go out, and whatever comes. But I do think, like, when you put it into the thing, the rapture is going to be whatever is going to go down. It's going to be that they're going to try and shut the banks down, and Trump's going to try and make an announcement. So they're going to do a September 11 situation, just a big old attack on all of us to try and block it. And that is the big shebang, because I mean they're sure setting up the whole thing with the nukes and stuff. I mean they're pushing on that, and now Joe has got us like in a World War III, and he's going on vacation. Like, sometimes the absurdity, and this is where I feel like I'm some sort of maniacal kind of crazy, because I'll like go on the talk and I will hear somebody and they'll be talking about this and they'll be so serious and they'll be so outraged and so mad, and I just will start cracking up. Oh my God, I'll just start laughing. It isn't, it's also because of how serious and outraged people are of stuff. It is serious and outraged, but I just know that that's what it's supposed to be doing, is making it so you are seriously outraged, And it's the people who are asleep, who aren't seriously outraged. They're the ones who are going to be traumatized when everything flips the other direction, because everything was right under their nose and they didn't see it. And all the people who did see it are going to feel a huge amount of relief, because finally the truth is shown, and they're not having to, dodge this constant, you're crazy and stuff like that. So it's going to be a relief for all of them, but all of the other people. But still, there's so many people, like I've said all this time, that think they're awake and they're not awake. So they've got so much more to wake up to. So it's not going to just be just the sleeping people. There's going to be a lot of people who are awake who got stuck somewhere and didn't fully awake. And I just saw this girl on the talk, and she was like getting really close to the camera and yelling like, you think this, you're not awake. If you think this, you're not awake. If you think this, you're not awake. And she's going through the whole thing, because there's so many people who totally think they're awake and they're not awake. It's like I've said, like even in the spiritual community, like there is fucking people who consider themselves healer who has had 4. So that's why I keep telling people, not everybody who's out there preaching spirituality and stuff and healing are connected to their soul or source or something. They're not listening. They're still on the script. They're still just playing a part. Because when you stop playing the part and you start reading the script and you start paying attention, you start seeing the holes in the story. And, you have to look into things. You have to question things. And so there's a lot of people. That is the split. And I saw Candace Owens do a little thing. She was talking to Black people, I think. But it's so true in so many other aspects. But she was just talking about this. And she said, what's going on in the Black community, we have these people who want to just stay focused on slavery. And it wasn't even their grandparents who were slaves. Like they're holding on to stuff that happened hundreds of years before they were even born. And then you have the other people who just want to move forward. So you have the people who are focused on the victim aspect, like, oh, poor me, and the people who are ready for empowerment. That's the dividing thing. So when you are in the world, then you have that victim mentality. Everybody's a victim in their world because that's how they created it. When you start moving out of it, you start empowering yourself, and that is all about healing. Because you start feeling empowered. You start knowing who and what you are. And that's why you realize, like, they cannot be governing me. Like these people, like all these people who think they're so awake, who keep talking about like what we need to do in November. I was like, bullshit. What we need to do is tell them all, go. I do not need any of you. I do not need your laws. I just need my piece of property. I need my piece of property and leave me the fuck alone. That's all I need. Just leave me the fuck alone and I'll be good. And that is what everybody's going to get pushed to that. And then people will start building, into community and stuff. And I keep seeing these people who are like trying to figure out like what job they can do and stuff. How do you figure out what job you're going to do when the whole system is collapsing? I keep telling people, you got to focus on your skills. What are you good at? What is your desires? What is it your soul is telling you? Because when you follow your desires and you're doing what your soul is leading you to do, and it's something in you, when you are your value, you are your currency, you are working on yourself, then you develop into those skills. And when you want to do those, the universe will bring in the opportunities. So it will come to you. You just have to focus on what you're good at and starting to become better. Just like I was saying with the crocheting. When I was up at the food bank yesterday, which the one guy came up and he came up towards the end, the one who wears that real dirty one, and he's so gray. I mean, this is like the same color. It's crazy. But anyways, he walked up to me and just was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And didn't say anything. And then I was like, "Oh, I wonder if he's looked up now and he saw what's going on over there." But that's good. That's all you want. Just plant seeds. Let people figure it out for themselves. Don't argue with people. It's pointless. But so when I went up there yesterday morning, because I zipped up there like 6:30 in the morning, because more and more people are going earlier and earlier, and I just was like, I do not want to sit there. Even though I go up there and it's still 2 hours because I go ahead, but still, there's something less aggravating about sitting at the front of the line than sitting at the back of the line. So I'm sitting there, I was doing my crocheting, and oh my gosh, it was, people were like, oh my gosh, that's so good. And all of the Russian, even these little Russian men were coming over, and oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, they were just being so impressed. I was like, my gosh, I just learned to crochet during quarantine, and I have just been doing basic stuff for so long. And now to expand, and what was getting me when the Russian women and stuff were coming over and looking and stuff, I was thinking they come from a place where quality, like, that was respected. Somebody would make you something that had value. You bought it from a corporate sewing machine of an Asian slave. Like, that doesn't have the same value as somebody sitting there, my own hair being mixed into the threads of this blanket. And there's just some kind of respect to it. And I just know that respect, just seeing it on their faces, and, them wanting to watch and just be so impressed. And to know that is where we're headed. People are going to start really admiring quality. There's not going to be the same corporate quantity as there's been. And so anything that you can develop that you make, just like, the face serum or different herbs, and, just anything that you go in and learn about, learning how to fix things, any kind of skill. And so much of it is about our creativity and figuring out what you're good at and what do you have to share with the world. And then it will come to you, your opportunities. So anyways, just, I say don't be trying to focus on, what job you can get out there in the world, because the world's collapsing. And it's all going to start fitting back together. Like, there will start being, once we are relieved of debt, which will be right at this same time with the electricity going out, and or all the power going out. Then once that is all done, then it will be, there's going to be a lot more shifting. Plus the destruction that's going to happen in cities, it's going to push people out. There's going to be properties that are going to be given away, because it always should have been. It should have never been. But I'm sure it would be more of a stipulation. You got to have what you can care for. You can't just, hoard stuff anymore. Like, we have to be harmonious with the planet. We can't just sit here and devour her like these people over here. And then how many people think that's okay? Oh, well, people need houses. God, you're selfish. And it's like, people need houses that they can afford. People need houses that are not crammed on top of one another. People need houses where they can have solitary and peace. Like, what the hell, God? God, I can't wait till everybody's awake. It's going to be so much better. So anyways, I think that we are close. Who knows how close? How many of these fucking runs have I had to do to stock back up? It's like, it makes you feel just like, oh my gosh, every time. I want it to go so I can not run out before. Because every time it's like you run out and it's like, oh my gosh, now I don't have anything. Now I've got to run and get some more. Is it going to go on, Even when you start going, I just hope by this weekend, like freaking quit threatening us. Just fucking do something already. God damn. And I think the reason that they don't is because they're scared. They know there's no winning for them. They know they've already lost. Most of them are already they're already gone. So anyways, I've really been rambling, but I swear to God, there's just so much. I swear to God, I could just sit and talk all day. Just talk, 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 talk. It's nice because I get these people on TikTok in the comments. They'll be like, oh my God, I wish I could just come and sit and talk to you all day. It's like, oh, I can talk all day. Believe you me, I can do it. So anyways, I will talk to you later. Bye.